and welcome to round 3 of the ARW F1 2005 series. My name is Stairs. As always, I'm joined in the commentary box by Madbird.
And indeed, we are in Indianapolis, which is in one state of the United States.
Indiana.
That would make sense.
It does. And controversy leading into this round of the championship. The Bridgestone and the Michelin runners both with a different type of tyre, and the Michelin's struggling on the banked right-hand corner at the end of the lap.
They're exploding, I believe, which is not what you want from a tyre, so some drastic measures have been taken, Stairs.
Yes, a compromise has been reached, which is a novel idea. The race has been made one lap shorter in order to accommodate the unfortunate properties of the Michelin tyre that forbid it from completing 17 laps. Certainly wasn't a mathematical error or anything like that that caused the race to be one lap shorter than the 75 kilometres that we have allotted for the other races.
God forbid.
With that aside, we're going to throw to our resident expert in the pit lane, Robert, who's got a bit of a rundown of the qualifying session.
He does. So, Robert, as per usual, let us know, how was the qualifying?
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Qualifying specialist Nether was the early pole sitter in what would be a strong showing for the Toyota team, setting the bar at a 1 minute 14.5. A lap that remained unchallenged by many drivers before a scintillating lap by Goofball Antics put everyone on notice.
And that's pole position 13.471. See you later, 1.1 seconds ahead of Nether's time.
Cirrus, needing all the points he can get to stay in championship contention, was unable to challenge Group's time, finishing up 3/10 adrift.
And it is slower, 3/10 of a second. So not much, but...
Stairs also could do nothing about Goof, slotting in between to bag a spot on the front row. With all that in mind, it looks set to be an interesting race indeed. Back to you, Madbird and Stairs, in the commentary box.
Well, thank you, Robert. Here we are on the grid for Indianapolis. We're about to get the warm-up lap underway. There is Goofball Antics on pole position. He'll be richly pleased with that. As we look at the Drivers' Championship standings there. So Stairs 5 points adrift of Goofball Antics, so all he needs is a good result today, and he may well clinch this championship because Cirrus 10 points adrift. He needs to claw back a lot of points.
Indeed. Cirrus with that no finish in Shanghai really cost him. Further down the standings, we've got Baker and Bagsy in a tight battle, both on 6 points. Roadhog just behind him on 5, and of course we've got the also Rans. We've got Rambo with 4.
Interesting little battle between the two Ferraris there, Rambo and Roadhog. James Sam's not really had a fantastic season by his standards.
And let's not speak about Madbird.
No, well, we're about to look at the Constructors' Championship there. So McLaren just 2 points ahead of Toyota after the last round. And BAR Honda bringing up behind, just 3 points adrift of Toyota, so it's all really quite close between those first 3 runners.
Indeed, no points there for Renault, conspicuously, as Renault shows up on the screen. So Pablo hoping to change that this race.
Well, that's right. He is the replacement, the ring-in, but richly deserved. As we remind you all of the starting grid there. So Goofball Antics starting on pole position. Stairs will be in second. Cirrus eager to get by and get some more points. Might be wanting to put Goofball Antics between himself and Stairs, but he's got a lot of work to do to get there. Nether's had a good qualifying session to do to finish up in 4th.
Yes, we've got Bagsy in the Toyota, down in 5th, alongside Bang there in the Minardi. Baker and Roadhog behind them. Pablo and Mono behind them. James 11th, and Rambo, of course, not setting a time, cutting a corner, starting from the rear.
Now, Rambo very likely to do a one-stop, considering that he didn't qualify. But it is a short race, so there's a chance that we might have some other one-stoppers now. It's been touch and go in the past, but with the race 1 lap shorter than it ordinarily would have been due to the tyres and nothing else, this might throw up a bit of a double 6 for strategy. As we wait for the lights. There they are. 3 lights, and then we're going to look for green. There it is. The race is underway.
Good start from Stairs. He is already on the back of Goofball. Might have him into the first corner. He's on the inside. Cirrus has been left in the cold behind them. Looks like Goofball's hung onto it.
Oh, Zera's trying to go around the outside. They're
Oh!
side by side. He's backed out of that one. Very, very close to getting past the McLaren, and both of them have lost car lengths behind Goofball Antics. So Goofball streaks out into quite a comfortable lead. And it looks like Bagsy might have got up ahead of Netherrealmian.
Indeed, we have the two Toyotas squabbling for position. Got both Ferraris squabbling and both Jordans down into 11th and 12th. So bad start for the two Jordans. A good start there for the Ferrari of Rambo and the whatever it is of James D.
That's a Red Bull. Yeah, Mono and Baker both losing positions, which James was very happy to take advantage of. And Xeris all over the back of Stairs at this part, all just taking the differing lines. There seems to be grip on both sides of the track there, so you can sort of go where the guy ahead of you doesn't go, and try and find some grip and not be disturbed by the dirty air.
Look at the gap that Goofball has already built over these two while they've been squabbling. He's basically out of shot, and we're just coming up to the end of the first lap. So
Xeris is in a slipstream there. He's going to go on the inside, and Stairs is committed to the outside. Is he going to be able to get the car stopped? And Xeris trying to go for the inside. Is he going to slot back inside?
Oh,
he does. And Stairs just running a little bit wide there, and these two are absolutely close on track. And here is Pablo in his first race. He's got an awful lot to contend with. Two Ferraris. That's going to be a terrifically disturbing sight. As he's really been thrown in the deep end here. But 6 is a good position to find himself at this stage. If he can hang on to that, easier said than done, of course.
It is. The Ferraris are all over each other. Even oh my God! There's been contact.
Rambo.
One of the Ferraris.
Yep, I think that's Rambo. He's collided with his teammate, and there's a Jordan coming through. That's Mono gone spinning through, and thankfully didn't collect anyone. That was very, very close. And James has found his way up a couple of positions there with these two colliding with each other. Yeah, there we go. James getting 2 positions out of that. And there goes Jordan. The Jordan just lost it on his own, so they're just in sympathy as we rejoin the second and third place battle. And and there's the leader already, only 2 laps in, and he's straight into the pits. So this becomes the first and second place battle. And Xeris is all over the place. Stairs going for the inside this time. Doesn't want Xeris to have the same advantage he did last time, as Goof stops on his marks, and there's the 2 Toyotas behind, and all sorts of things. There's cars 3 wide, and Xeris through into the lead at turn 1 on lap 2. Stairs had the lead briefly, but it's all gone.
It is. It looks like the outside is the line you want to take into that first corner. Just managed to pull it around the outside. Stairs had no answer for it. Goofball with a 17-second stop.
That's a horrendously long 17 seconds. He must have gone past his marks or something like that, because that is much, much longer than you ideally want to be stopped. That is a disaster for what was such a promising start for the BAR Honda driver.
It did. It looked like he had to fling it into reverse, which isn't a gear that I thought these cars had, and go back into his pit stop. So it looks like he overshot it. We've got Stairs here, not giving up the ghost, obviously. And we've got one of the Toyotas. Oh no,
that's Goofball, and he's back to 12. I mean, obviously he was behind after pitting so early, but it's so disappointing after such a superb qualifying session and a great, he didn't actually give up the lead for any mistakes before he pitted, so he was actually streaking clear, but it's just all fallen apart for Goofball, and so that's very sad.
That is incredibly sad. We've got Roadhog, and off he goes again. Those tyres covered with grass.
Yeah, just still struggling with grip. The temperatures would have dipped. We've got Roadhog, as you started to say before, coming into the pits, but it's all kicking off here. We've got Roadhog. We've got the Jordan of Baker challenging Bang for 7th place in the Minardi, and Rambo in the background getting a bit out of shape at turn 1. As Roadhog's also had a very long stop, 15 seconds, so fueled up a lot. I don't know if he missed his marks too. He's back to 11th, so Goofball's still yet to go through. Is he in the shot there? No, he's lost so much time. He's actually behind Roadhog, so that's very disappointing for him as we look at the Toyota battle. Bagsy's slower in qualifying, but he's ahead on track right now, and he'll be wanting to hold on to that podium position after he lost so many points by not being able to race in Manicourt due to the technical issues that prevented him from racing last round.
Technical issues with the passport as he's gone off onto the grass. Managed to keep his pace a little bit, so he hasn't lost too much time, but Nether's going to have a much better run onto this slope section as we've got Stairs chasing after Xeris. Doesn't look like he's going to be, he's not alongside.
2/10,
that's a huge amount of speed.
Ducks around the outside and tries to overtake into the first corner. Can he outbrake him? Xeris, they go side by side. Xeris cuts into the curb and nearly spins the car around. and was very fortunate to hold on to that, but remains ahead of Xeris, ahead of Stairs, I should say. And what an incredible moment in this race.
This is a it always is between these two, but it's a fantastic duel.
Here we go, on board with
I thought Stairs had this done.
Well, he just braked that little bit earlier, having thought that he got the job done. Xeris gave him room, he went onto the curb and just lost the back end a bit, and thankfully we're getting more replays of this, because it was quite a moment. As here's a replay of James and Pablo, and looking like he had the job done there. He does have the job done, so that's how James ended up in 5th place. These guys about 5 seconds adrift of the Toyota battle we were looking at before, between Bagsy and Nether.
Indeed, Pablo and Bang, actually brothers racing for different teams. That's an interesting battle, to be sure. We've got Stairs has lost a bit of time on Xeris by the looks of it. He's a few car lengths behind. Not going to have a go into the first corner for the first time this race. Haven't got any action into the first corner between these two. Xeris maybe just putting his foot down a little bit.
And mirroring that, the battle between Bagsy and Nether, which is just about to hot up, because Bagsy's gone off into the grass and Nether's trying around the outside, and not quite through there, as we've got all sorts of things kicking off with strategy. James and Baker all into the pits. Who's going to come out first? We wait to see.
Roadhog, Robert, what's going on in the pits?
Exactly as you say, James has done his pit stop, Baker's done his pit stop. They're much shorter than the horrendously long pit stop we had for Goofball Antics earlier in the race, but they're looking like they're going to have 2 stop races.
Fantastic, thank you, Robert. The Toyotas. That looks like
mono.
Baker. That is mono. Do apologise. Still hasn't pit.
That's not gone well. He's stalled it, I think. It might be game over for mono, so that's very unfortunate, as we see Xeris pitting, so he's looking like he's committing himself to a 2-stopper. Oh, he spun the car!
Oh my God!
On the pit limiter, he's just spun the rear, and there's so little room, he can't actually flick spin it around. Is he going to be out of the way for Nether? Yes, just gets the thing out of the way, but he's going to lose the position to the Toyota. He's had to do a 16-point turn to get the thing turned around, and he's only just, as Nether flicks the rear around, only just made his pit box, so he's lost a huge amount of time there. They were some 3 or 4 seconds ahead as everyone else comes into the pits to do of the 2-stopper. So that's Bang and Pablo also coming in. So Nether, there you go, he's gone, and Xeris some 3 or 4 seconds behind. So I didn't catch the pit time for Xeris, but it was a lot longer than he would have been anticipating. Back in 5th place now.
He is behind. He's come out behind Nether, which is not what he wants. Nether, it must be. And he's got incredibly deep across the logo.
He's forgotten how cold his brakes would have been after being stationary for so long and having to flick spin the car several times. Oh, and pit lane speeding infringement for car 20, which is Bang, under investigation. That's likely to become a penalty, because those cameras don't tend to lie, as our race leader Stairs comes into the pit lane.
Yes, he wouldn't have heard about this yet. He'd be racing for his life.
We don't know whether the radio will...
Fantastic handheld. Sorry to cut across your hand. Fantastic handheld camera angle there, as we got Bagsy coming in just in front of Stairs. But Stairs obviously will be leaving beforehand, you would expect.
There he goes. Well, it'll be interesting to see whether Bagsy comes out. He's had one more lap with less fuel, and whether he comes out much further ahead of Nether after they were very much neck and neck on track at the time. I didn't see who that was driving through in front. Might have been that's the Ferrari, I believe, of Rambo. As we get confirmation indeed of a drive-through penalty for Bang. So that's. Bad luck for him, because he was right there in the mix.
Good luck for... Oh, never mind. I was going to say good luck for Bagsy. He has come out in front of Nether, but he's
much further ahead now.
That surely that is not...
He's forgotten the track. So he's cut across you there.
No, absolutely. He's done the same thing as Xeris, but has not even made an attempt to make the corner.
We've got a battle 3 wide into turn 1. The Jordan's just decided, no, I don't want to have anything to do with it, and Goofball's just smashed... spun around for the 3rd time in this race, and as he looked like he was going to go inside, and here is the battle for the lead. Rambo hasn't stopped yet. He's the only guy not to, and Stairs is all over him like a cheap suit, and he will be wanting to get ahead of him, whether or not he...
and there he goes.
He does seem to have... He will have quite a comfortable advantage over Xeris now that Xeris has had that horrible issue in the pit stop, and here is the replay of what happened with Baker just trying to go around the outside, saw the trouble kicking off and just sort of don't want to have anything to do with that. And the other two took care of themselves somewhat. So he gains the position from Goofball Antics as we rejoin Rambo's now. Oh, sorry, that's Roadhog behind James. Rambo is making his pit stop now.
He is. So Rambo, the last one to pit. Looks like he might be. No, he's not. Never mind. I was going to say he's coming out in front of Roadhog, but
it's a long stop, so that should be him fuel to the end with 8 laps to go. He's made it 8 laps, having well, he will have started with a full tank. Everyone else starting with a slightly less than full tank, having qualified. As we've got this 3 wide battles continuing. This is round 2, and this time it's Baker on the inside. He backs out wisely, and Goofball's jumped through and got both positions.
Absolutely fantastic drive there from Goofball. He wouldn't be happy, Stairs. He's a proud man. He's had a horrendous race ever since he pit.
He would have been eyeing off victory today, so anything less than that will be a disappointment, but a good recovery drive nonetheless.
It is, and Baker there behind Pablo, as Pablo is probably a little bit timid in the new car, and Baker would be thinking, well, giddy up.
Yeah, Pablo is having a very good race, considering that he's just been spawned in at the last minute for the last 2 rounds of this season. But points will be what he was told to get, and points are what he is aiming to get. But the more, the better. As Stairs crosses the line in on lap 9, 8 seconds ahead of Bagsy. We didn't see whether Bagsy actually let off the throttle and let Nether catch back up. And looks like he has actually, because there's a 0.4 of a second advantage that Bagsy has over Nether. And we are now looking at Roadhog making his 2nd pit stop by the looks of it.
Baker going to the inside, committing early on Pablo. Is he going to get it stopped in time, or is Pablo going to be able to go around the outside? It's I don't know what's going. And he's pulled out of it. He
didn't want to see that Renault cut across and take off the front wing. And Xeris has already caught up the two Toyotas, which are much closer than 0.4 of a second now. Nether just ducking out of this. Oh goodness, that's a mistake for Bagsy. He's outbraked himself. Let Xeris by, and that is not what Toyota want. Toyota were like, Bagsy, can you please try and give Nether a bit of a chance to get away. So Nether has got the position over Bagsy, and Bagsy's lost the position to both Nether and Xeris, so it's all sort of fallen apart for Bagsy in the last lap and a half. Not good
at all. It's not always happy days there at the Toyota camp, so there's going to be, I can see the headlines now, you know, Bagsy sabotages Nether, doesn't hold up Xeris, but
and it's all fallen apart for Toyota now.
No.
Xeris has got the position on Nether, and Bagsy spun as well. Oh no, that was Bagsy. I thought it was Xeris before, but it's all gone from worse to worse for Bagsy. So what was a 10.9 second disadvantage, or gap rather, to Stairs is now more than that. And Xeris has in 1 lap got past both the Toyotas and up into 2nd place. And set about trying to reduce that gap to Stairs. But the thing is, we know he has to stop again. Whether Stairs has to stop again or not, we don't know.
That is correct. So Xeris, yeah, he's just got to get within a mistakes range of Stairs. If Stairs manages to, Stairs will probably be easing off a tiny bit, just making sure he can bring the car home. He's got an incredible lead of about 8 seconds last we saw, I believe. Here we go. Oh no, that stops. Never mind.
That stops. That just gives you an idea of the positions. Well, Goofball's climbed back up to 6, and he's hunting down Madge here, James or Madge for short. Maybe we should call him Madge because it matches up with what we're looking at on the screen. And what is going on? He's had a moment there.
He is as wobbly as a Maggi noodle coming through that banked corner, flinging himself out. Good line there from James. He's not the highest driver in the standings at the moment, but he's definitely not the lowest.
It's pretty high. But anyway, Goofball Antics in the pit lane, so that's put paid to that chase. We'll wait to see whether James has to pit again. There goes the Jordan. That will be Baker making his final stop for the race. Just 5 laps to go. And so Goofball with a very long stop. One would have thought he didn't need to put in 14 seconds worth of fuel to finish the remaining 5 laps. But you saw what happened. A little bit of a jerk for Baker off the line. That's probably the kind of stop that we'd see. 9.2 seconds. That's Well, that'll be certainly Baker done for the end of the race. And we rejoin the battle between the Ferrari and the Renault. This is James and Pablo. I say rejoin. This is the first time we've seen this battle.
No, it's Pablo and Rambo. There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do apologise.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. It's a very confusing graphics occasionally, as we've got Pablo in 6th position. So already he's already in place to get more points than Madbird managed to get in his first 2 races. He's just got to hold off Rambo for the last 4 laps of this race, last 5 laps of this race. Sorry, oh my goodness. Never mind.
We'll wait to see whether he has his fuel on board, because obviously we've got a mixture of 1 and 2 stoppers today, and Goofball Antics has rejoined back in 10th place, so he's got a lot of work to do to get some more, salvage a bit more out of that. And here is James pitting, so that will be very interesting to see whether he comes out near or nearabouts Goofball Antics. But the battle between the Renault and the Ferrari that we've seen this in Shanghai, but with different drivers. And Roadhog, he's just sort of delayed his turn-in point so that the Ferrari couldn't get by. And Bang taking, is that his drive-through? No, he must have already served his drive-through penalty. This is his last pit stop. And there is the leader, sublimely leading out front by by 10 seconds. And he'll just be wanting not to take any risks. As it stands, with Goofball Antics down in 10th place, he's going to take a full 10 or 9 points out of that lead. He'll add 9 points to that lead, and that will mean that he clinches the championship with Xeris pitting from 2nd place. And Xeris would be exactly 10 points behind if he finished in 2nd. But it doesn't look like that's a certainty as it is, because he's given back the positions to the 2 Toyotas, having pitted.
Indeed, the Toyota's not having pit yet, I don't believe. Big gap.
You don't know whether they need to again.
That's true. True, it is. One stop is possible. It's a little bit dicey if you did the full 3 laps prior to the start of the race.
Bagsy might be safe because he pitted 1 lap later. And but Nevin maybe not so, because he pitted on the first time the same lap as Xeris. As we saw, he had a bit of a moment when Xeris was recovering from his pit lane entry mistake.
So further down in the field, we've got Rambo just ahead of Pablo, has managed to get past him.
Oh goodness, the gap between James and Goofball is enormous. Yeah, it's really big.
And that's after James's pit as well, so that just shows how far Goofball has fallen, although he has pit again. Yeah,
well, he closed it down to about 4 seconds, so it might be a bit more because James had the benefit of a couple laps on a low fuel load, and Goofball took a couple laps to get up to speed with cold tyres. And there's Baker.
It's just like the graphic on the screen at the moment, just showing how far ahead Stairs is of the next runners.
Yeah, we're waiting for the...
There it goes now. The 22.5 seconds behind Stairs.
A lot bigger in the last couple of laps, so I don't know if Nether's dealing with some sort of problem with 2 laps to go, but well, he's got a 4-second advantage over his teammate and a 10-second advantage over Xeris, so one would think that he can wrap that up so long as he's not... Well, he may have to fuel save a little bit with... if he doesn't need to pit again, but that means that he dropped down into 4th place, so he'll be hoping that he can hang on to the end of this race.
Yeah, so Pablo's still up in 6th with James pitting, but I believe Pablo would still need to pit again. I think he's only pit the once.
Yeah, and he would lose that position to James and probably Goofball there, because he's only 15 seconds ahead and 20 seconds ahead of Goof. So there is the Toyota of Nether. We can't see Bagsy in the shot just yet. There he is.
He goes.
So
that's
4 seconds
down.
that gap was. Yeah, that looks like it's maybe 3 seconds down.
Yeah, Nether was quite a bit further ahead of Bagsy than this, so he might have made a mistake, or he might be, as you were saying, he might be fuel saving.
Well, with 1 lap to go, you would have thought that he's got it. Well, he's certainly not going to pit again. We know that for sure.
He's gone past the entrance, so if he needed to pit, he's like, oh fuck, I meant to go. I meant to go down that way.
Yep.
And he hasn't, so 26 seconds down on Stairs, so he is definitely...
He's dropped 4 seconds to the leader on that 1 lap. Look at how much Bagsy's closing under braking in turn 1. That is not 4 seconds, that's 1 second as they came across the line, and I think that's less than that now. Xeris has closed 5 seconds behind Bagsy.
I'd be very interested to see an onboard of a Nether to see, and Pablo has had to pit again.
Splash and dash for Pablo.
On the last lap.
That's
He'd need to put, he'd need like 3 litres of fuel, so that is an incredibly That is a bitter pill to swallow there for Pablo.
Yeah, he comes out in 8th. Oh, and Bagsy, surely you've got to do team orders here. Now there is struggling. He must be low on fuel. Here's the leader. Stairs coming across the line to win, and most likely, Xeris behind them still, clinch the championship because he's in 4th place, and that won't be enough points to keep the championship alive into Suzuka.
So Nether has managed to hold on to the position at the moment, but he is going to need
one corner to go.
He's going to need to put his foot down. If he's going to have to put fuel saving out of his mind, he's going to have to put his foot down. But Bags is already all over his gearbox.
You can't fuel save through here. It's a flat out section of the track. He's coughing. He's put him into the wall because he's run out of fuel on the last corner of the race, and he's going to amble, he's going to limp across the line. Xeris, there he goes. If the race had been about 100 metres longer, Xeris would have got through into 3rd place, but it's a 2-3 for Toyota, 2nd and 3rd. They'll be very happy with that huge amount of points. All sorts of stuff kicking off after the race on the first corner there, and Rambo in 5th place. Destroyed!
Oh my god!
The fuelless Toyota of Nether, and there's tyres all over the place. Here's Goofball. He hasn't managed to catch up to James, or he hasn't managed to pass James. He's certainly reduced that gap by some amount, and James finishes in 6th place, Goof in 7th, and Pablo down to 8th place. So actually only lost 1 position in that last pit stop. Was it 1 position or 2 positions? Yes, he was ahead of James.
It was 1 position, yeah. So,
2 positions.
Stairs coming home 28 seconds, basically, ahead of Bagsy. So, a dominant performance from the McLaren after Xeris's pit lane mischief. Bagsy coming home 2nd, be very happy with that. And 3rd, as you said, Toyota. So,
it was a terrific battle between the Toyotas, but never looked like he had it won. But just the fuel being the issue in the end, and thankfully that collision between the two of them didn't put them both out of the race.
Was the steward's going to look at that at all? Like, that seemed like a hefty collision.
I think that Bagsy certainly wouldn't have been expecting Nether's engine to completely die when you're going through a section of the track that is absolutely flat out. Walls to the balls to the wall. And Xeris, incredibly unfortunate that didn't happen about half a second earlier, because that was the margin in the end. And Stairs now 12 points clear of Nether, with 1st place wrapped up with only 10 points remaining for the victor in Suzuka.
Congratulations to Stairs. Absolutely flawless drive. Fantastic.
But of course, it'll all be to play for 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship in Suzuka, so certainly don't miss that. There's also the small matter of the Constructors' Championship, which is currently being led by Toyota on 30 points, clear of McLaren on 28 points. So McLaren were leading that at the beginning of this race. Now they're 2 points adrift.
BMW of Xeris behind Williams BMW, 15 points, along with the BAR Honda of Goofball, both 15 points. So very close between them. So it'll be interesting to see which of them takes it out at Suzuka.
That's it, and Ferrari isn't too far behind, only 2 points adrift on 13. And Jordan and Toyota tied on 6 points apiece, so the small matter of 6th place might not seem all that illustrious to you, but millions of dollars, of course, at stake there. But that's all the time that we have. We certainly hope you've enjoyed our company as we've deconstructed round 3 for you. Just the 1 round to go, and although the Drivers' Championship has been decided, as we've discussed, many more prizes on the table in Suzuka next month. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Hope you've enjoyed our company. My name's Stairs.
And I'm Madbird.
See you in Suzuka.
Nihongo.
Arigatou gozaimasu.